my channel. One of my favorite things about going into the new year is taking some time to set up my planner for the year, and so I thought it would be fun to take you along with me as I do that today. One thing I like to do before I set up my planner is I will always take some time to journal and just reflect on the year that we're leaving, so reflecting on 2019. I like to do this before setting up my planner for a couple reasons. One, I just don't like to step into the new year without feeling like I've taken time to really reflect on the previous year, thank God for the good in it. The other reason I like to do that before setting up my planner is that I will also use that time journaling to just think through and pray through goals and the focuses I want to have in the new year. And so I think it's really helpful to do that before ever setting ink to the pages of the new planner, just because then I have a clear focus of what I want that year to be about, my priorities, my goals. And so I took some time to do that this morning, and it was so nice. I honestly haven't journaled in a while. It's something I used to be a lot more consistent at and something I want to get back to doing more just because I see the value in it. But I wanted to give you a couple ideas of what I did this morning, just in case you also want to take some time to do that before maybe you set up your planner. But basically I filled out a whole list of things I was thankful for in this year. I feel like this has been especially important for me to do in the years that were hard, or where I maybe felt like there wasn't a lot of good in them, because there's always good, even if the good is the way that God worked through hard situations. And so if you had a hard year, I would just encourage you to do that. I know for me, last year was sort of that, and it was really helpful to sit down and just recognize the good that was still in that year, the ways that God worked, even when it didn't feel like that great of a year for me. And so I will write out one list of things I'm thankful for in the year, and then I'll write out a second list of goals and prayers for the coming year. And so now that I've done that, I want to break out my new planner and set it up, and I'm going to show you guys how I do that. The planner I use is the Simplified planner. I believe this is my third or fourth year using this planner, but I love it. It is a little bit on the pricier side. I think it's like $58. But I buy this every single year on Black Friday because that's when it goes on sale, and so I can get it for a little bit cheaper than that. But I use it so much, so it's so worth it for me. I love this thing. I've tried out other planners, but I always find myself coming back to this one. I just love the layout of it. True to its name, it is just simple. It has the monthly layout, and then it also has daily layouts, and so you can see right here, it has that space for you to write out all of your appointments or sort of time blocking in one column, and then a column for to-do lists. I've tried switching over to weekly planners just because they're a little bit smaller. You can tell this thing's a little bit thick, but I just honestly love to write down all my to-dos and cross them out, and so a weekly planner just ends up getting a little bit too cramped for me. And then I also like being able to just focus on that day that I'm in right there without having to get overwhelmed with what's going on that whole week. So I can lay out and map out my week, but then just focus on that day as I'm in it. I also love a feature it has that at the end of every week, there's a spot for you to write out a happy memory from the week. I honestly kind of stopped using this halfway through this year, and I want to get back to it because I feel like when I was doing that before, it was just really nice to take a moment on a Sunday to write down happy memories from the week, because it makes you think through them and remember them and just be grateful for them. And I feel like taking that time to write down the happy memories always made me really happy. So I want to start doing that again this year. So when I first get a new planner for the year, there's a couple things I will do to set up the yearly portion of it. One, I will go through and write down all the dates that I need to write in for the new year. So usually as I get to the end of a planner, so like November, December of my last year's planner, and I'm starting to make plans for January or February or March or whatever, and I obviously don't have space to do that in that planner, I will just usually write a list at the back page of this planner of all the dates for the coming year. So I will first take my old planner and write in all those dates in the new planner. Then I will also go through and write down birthdays of my family and close friends. Let me try to find an example. You can see this one I wrote here for my mom. So I will go through and copy all of those from my old planner into the new planner. And I just really enjoy doing that. I don't really know why. I know there's probably more efficient ways to do that. But one thing I did this year as I was doing that I really like is I just took a quick second as I was writing out each of these people's birthdays to just pray for them, to thank God for this previous year of their life, for their role in my life, and then to pray for them in the coming year. Nothing long or elaborate, just a quick little breath prayer, but I really enjoyed doing that. And then I will also fill in this yearly bucket list that you see here. So I basically will just take the goals that I wrote out in my journal as I thought through and prayed through that and copy them down here. And so these will be my goals or things I really want to do this year. And I like having them in the planner, one, because there's a space for this, but I will also check in with them at the start of each month. So those are the things I will do to set up my new planner. And now I will actually show you how I plan out my month and my week. So for the monthly layout, I usually keep it pretty simple. I'll mainly use it to write any events or any trips or travels. I also use it for content to really map out my content. So I'm always writing down ideas of different YouTube videos or blog posts, but then as I get closer to a month, I will look through that list and see what makes sense to do that month. So as you can see, I have some ideas for January. Right now, I'm just doing videos once a week. I'd like to eventually do them more, but realistically with working full time and just the time it takes to film and edit, that's sort of my goal right now, is to at least do one a week and then maybe a bonus video here and there. So I'll look at the video ideas I have for the month and then just plug them in. And then also as I plan out the weeks, kind of have a rough idea of when I want to film those videos so that I have enough time to edit them before the date I want to post them. And I also usually will reshare some blog posts on Tuesdays, just old blog posts. The reason I will do this is because I want to get Instagram story highlights for all of my old blog posts. And so I'm doing that just until I get a story highlight for all of them. And so these are the ones I want to reshare for January. And then I also have a sticky note here of to-do list items that I didn't get to last month that I want to work on this month. So I'm just going to write all those things in the monthly planner. Aside from the content, which I have on sticky notes, I have already penciled in some of those events and trips I was mentioning. So I'm just going to erase those and write it all out and make it look hopefully somewhat pretty. So I wrote out all of my monthly things here. I actually kept the YouTube videos in pencil. I will usually do this just because sometimes I will think of a new video idea that I want to do sooner and it just changes around a lot. So I do have the ideas written out over here and I have them tentatively scheduled for when I want them to post, but I usually don't write them permanently or in pen until I get to that actual week. And then I also have a blog post I want to write this month, but I didn't plug that in here because I'm not sure exactly when I want to write that yet. And then just some to-dos and then again travel and events. So when it comes time for weekly planning, I will usually do that on Thursdays at work, and I'll start by writing in all my work to-dos and any meetings I have and put that in first, and then I will plug in all the personal stuff and content stuff around that. And I'll usually just take all the things I've been penciling in throughout the week and write them down in pen. I know that's probably not the most efficient way of doing it, is having to erase all the pencil mark and rewriting the same thing, but I like just being able to write things down in pencil as I'm planning ahead and then be able to solidify it more. Even once things are in pen, that does not mean that things always go according to plan, obviously, but I do like to take the time to write them out just because it allows me to go into the week feeling like I have a handle on how the week is gonna go. So this first week of the year, I'll actually be coming back from a trip and then working from home on Friday. So I'm gonna show you this Monday the 6th to show you how I do my daily planning. So again, I've got some things penciled in of personal things I need to get done. So I'm going to erase those, plug in all of the work things I need to get done, and then I'll go back in and add any of these that it looks like I'm going to have time for, and some of them I might have to place on different days. And I'll show you what it looks like once I have them all written out with the different colors. All right, so here's what a completed day looks like for me. So I have all of my appointments or anything like that over here on the left side, and then all my to-do list items over here on the right. I do color coordinate, so everything for my job I have in orange, and that's obviously going to be the primary focus for most of the day. And then I will have all my personal stuff in black, this reshare of a blog post I have in green, and then a YouTube video I need to post in blue, and then just other personal appointments like dinner with some friends that night is going to be in purple. As for quiet time, so I know that some people don't like to write that down in a planner because then it becomes almost like a to-do list item, but for me, I've just found that it helps with accountability. It's almost like setting coffee with a friend, and if you write it down, then you're treating it like an appointment and you're not just going to not show up for it. And so that really helps me to work it into the rhythm of my everyday. I also have a note here that I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. because I do want to try a 5 a.m. wake up time out just for a week in the beginning of the year. One, to try it out and see if I like it, but realistically I know it's probably not something I'm going to do long term, but I figure if I do it for a week, then it won't be that hard to wake up at 6 or 7 because I've just been struggling with getting an early start lately. So I'm going to try that out for a week, and I'm actually planning to film it too, so we'll see how that goes. But this is how I plan out my day. I use this to work off of at work, and then usually these extra things I will do either on lunch breaks or after work. But again, every day is different. Some days after work I'll be at home and maybe I'll schedule in a workout, and I'll also use that night to do grocery shopping and get laundry done. Or other nights, usually at least 2 nights a week, I'll have some sort of a meeting, either Bible study with friends or youth group or a youth group leader meeting. So there's usually a lot of things after work, so I try to really take advantage of those nights after work when I don't have plans to get some of my other personal stuff done. That is all for my plan with me video. I hope that this was helpful to you. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. That really does help to support my channel, and I appreciate it. If you haven't yet, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. I do all sorts of faith and lifestyle videos, and I have so many ideas of videos I want to make in this coming year, so I'm really excited about that. Now I want to hear from you. If there's a planner you use, I'd love to hear which one you use down in the comments, so let me know down there. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!